The Sonic Amateur Games Expo, otherwise known as SAGE, is an annual celebration of Sonic the Hedgehog's lasting impact on the video game community through the medium of fan creations. Projects either having to do with the Blue Blur himself, or completely original ideas that are inspired by the franchise's many outings, are showcased on a golden pedestal by SAGE for everyone to see. It's an amazing event. Creators big and small can show off their talents in a way that doesn't restrict them from doing X, Y, and Z. And it proves successful as SAGE has been going on for more than 2 decades. It is a staple within the Sonic fandom and an event that everyone looks forward to every year. And more often than not, they go down with no issues. In 2016, the 16th annual SAGE would release with a plethora of fan games on the table. But there is one specific project that stemmed from 2016 SAGE in particular. That project being Sonic Gather Battle. Created by a Taiwanese dev by the name of Lee it was submitted into the 16th annual SAGE. Sonic Gather Battle is a beat-em-up featuring Sonic characters built on the Little Fighter 2 engine, a free beat-em-up game made by Hong Kong devs Marty Wong and Starsky Wong. And by free, I mean it used to be freeware until it got ported to Steam for the low price of $15. Gather Battle is as simple as it sounds. You play as Sonic characters, you beat up egg robos, and that's about it. It's nothing special. It's not bad in a sense, but it's not anything to write home about either. But the game itself isn't our point of interest. On December 11, 2017, an announcement was made about the DRM used in Gather Battle. DRM being the anti-cheat measures used in most online games. Some work, some don't. DRMs can also be used for anti-piracy measures, which has been done in official Sonic works such as Mania. The post mentions how the DRM used in Gather Battle is not an ordinary anti-cheat system and is instead literal malware. This went unrecognized for so long as the DRM measure was only added in an update on December 4th, whereas the SAGE showcase happened in mid-October. The DRM would supposedly take over your computer, create a registry and fuck up your system from there. There were a number of ways to activate this, such as using a cheat engine to modify the game, searching up cheats and hacks for the game, or even something as simple as transferring your save to another computer. There are a number of videos showcasing what the DRM does to your system and the game itself, but I wanted to try it out and take action for myself. So I found my really shitty old laptop from 2021 that I don't use anymore and downloaded Gather Battle on it. It's what I would say if you could still download it. While writing this video, I did end up finding an exe file of the post-December update version of Gather Battle on the Internet Archives. But after installing on my laptop and trying to open it, it just triggered a smart scan pop-up and doesn't open. It makes sense as to why it wouldn't work, as who in their right mind would go out of the way to deliberately install a virus? Me, of course. The DRM has 2 phases, each phase being triggered depending on what you do. The first phase is triggered when you open up a cheat engine. Eventually someone ended up finding out that if you search keywords in your browser such as cheat, hack, and mod, while also having the game open, it would force close your browser. API investigators then determined that the program itself would actually scan any open window names with the aforementioned keywords included. Not only that, but it would also scan your search history, which I would assume also to find these same keywords. The first phase of the DRM makes the game now have a dark blue and black background, with no enemies other than red floating ghosts that chase you down. The game is still playable, but it strays extremely far away from any fun now that you have this ghost shit that instantly kills you. The only way for the ghost stuff to go away is to literally track down the creator himself and beg and plead on everything you love for him to spare you so you can fucking play Sonic Gather Battle again. Uninstalling and then reinstalling doesn't work. Manually resetting the files doesn't work. You're forced to be seated with the main man himself. Tinkering with the registry to potentially get the ghost to leave would then trigger the second and most malicious layer of the DRM. The entire background is washed over with a red tint, multiple eyes follow and overlap your character, and bigger ghosts hunt you down, resulting in a game over on impact. We never learn. Despite being a somewhat decent attempt at trying to creep out players, it does much more malicious things behind the scenes. The game opens whatsmyip.org in the background, which is sent straight to Lee so he can blacklist your computer from playing the game. It creates and destroys random files in your system, but more often than not, the files that the application deletes are files created by the application and not files you had on your system beforehand, and in itself controls what you can and cannot have on your computer. This alone is enough to be pushed up against the wall as malware. It's important to note that the game doesn't actually do anything damaging to your computer, but even then it's still controlling your system in a sense. Heck, the game literally needs administrator permission to open. No game should need to be run as administrator to be played, regardless of its history. Lee did end up confirming that the reason it needed to be opened with administrator access was to bypass a bug that would crash the game at a certain loading screen. While that's fine and dandy, the program having a function to require admin or not intentionally is highly suspicious and concerning to many. This ended up with the owner of Sage and Sonic Fan Games HQ to partner up with the Sonic Stuff Research Group and make a thorough breakdown of everything Gather Battle does to your computer. Limena was then banned from every future Sage event, and Gather Battle's download link was wiped from Sonic Fan Games HQ. Despite all of this, the question still stands. Why would Limena do all this? He did this to protect his sprite edits. When Limena made Gather Battle, he was paranoid that after he published it to the Fan Game HQ, people would rip his sprite edits and use them for themselves. So the DRM isn't actually to stop you cheating, it isn't to fuck around with your computer for the sake of being a shitbag, it was to protect Limena's half-assed sprite edits. Not even original art, edits of sprites that originated from the Sonic Advance trilogy and Sonic Battle. And in an ironic twist of fate, a few weeks later, Limena's sprite edits were uploaded to the Mugen archives for everyone to download. I should probably download these in spite. As of now, what Limena is up to in the present is something we're completely oblivious to. After the whole Gather Battle kerfuffle, they seemingly just vanished from the internet. There was a channel found by the Sonic Retro community that had been speculated to be owned by Limena, as 2 of the 4 videos on the channel show off gameplay of a Sonic beat-em-up that looks pretty much identical to Gather Battle with some minor tweaks. And I think we cracked that case pretty easily, folks. Limena apparently has an Anemo account that was active after the Gather Battle situation, and an alt account that was later exposed for being Limena. But in your fucking dreams and going on to Anemo for this shit-ass video, God forbid. There are countless discussions and investigations to really figure out where Limena is now, and even attempts to contact them head on. But right now, this entire thing is at a standstill, and I think the Sonic community is okay with that. I normally would say don't go out of your way to harass Limena directly, but I don't even think that's possible, as they're probably fucking stoned in a private domicile or something, but whatever. Go download his sprite edits or something, I don't know.
I said your fucking baby's gonna burn.